Good afternoon. It's lovely to see everybody and that we have such a great crowd here for this optional lunch and learn. So it is a lunch and learn, which means you can eat your lunch if you haven't already. It's a very informal session. Here with us today are Paul, Sharika, and Manveer from the Cyber Risk and Security team in Information Technology Services. And again, also just make sure too, if you haven't already, just that you're on mute so we don't get distracted during the presentation. But as I was saying, this is a presentation put together by Cyber Risk and Security Management, and it's all around, it's a part of their activities for their going towards level 4, and this is their building organizational capacity activities. So again, please everybody welcome Paul, Sharika, and Manveer as they begin their presentation.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your lunch hour to join us for this session. I'm excited about it because I've been using this technique over the last 10 years. But first, I'm going to introduce myself. So I am Paul Daly, and I'm just going by my slide here. I'm a senior analyst in IT security, specializing in risk and audit. So my team will assess the risk for online services or department applications used by the schools or by our administrative unit. And so I've been with the TDSB for many years, over the last 25 years. My department actual name is Cybersecurity and Risk Management. And I have several designations in cybersecurity, including one that's called Certified Information Systems Security Professional. So where this started is that our department has grown to 7 staff. 5 years ago, it was not the case. The department came together in 2005 with myself starting off the team, and then we hired a second person in 2007. And for over those years, it's been a struggle for me to attend meetings and also manage my work. And so I found that I was being booked into so many meetings for consultation, for whatever it is that I need to be a part of. And I end up working overtime or not getting work done. I've been work slide. So I decided to block those times in my calendar and be able to identify emails that come in that I need to take action on and to slot it in that time. So I reserve that time to be more effective at work. So we have actually coined it email tasking, just a term that is used just to say that, you have several emails or a lot of emails that you receive, but the ones that you determine that we don't need this right now, we can actually defer it to, a few days or a week or so. And there are a lot of benefits to, adding an email to your calendar as a task to be done at a later date. It helps you to be more organized, right? Because at least you can prioritize. You could say, I have 10 things to work on. These emails need to be done today or can be done tomorrow or in the future. So by going through and looking at what needs to be done, you can then schedule it out. So it's no different than scheduling a meeting, but we take it one step further and to use Outlook features to identify that time slot in the future and be able to put that email there. You can go back and look at the email and then see, what you need to do. So we do have an instruction guide, but what we're going to do, just to show you what is involved, we're going to actually do a walkthrough, more so a demonstration. So we're going to do a demonstration. So I have 2 co-op students that are with me, one from Toronto Metropolitan University, and another from University of Waterloo. So they're supporting me. And so Manveer is going to work with, join me in going through the demonstration. And then the second time we'll go through the demonstration and we'll ask whoever wants to follow along just to carry out the task so they can see how it's done. And then we'll look at the instruction guide and, we'll summarize what what we have done. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to ask Manfred to share a screen. And so we'll go through it. Okay, so we're looking at Outlook, right? And so this is our email view. So you have many views that you can have with email. So once you identified an email that you'd like to schedule as a calendar, in your calendar as a task, you open that email. So the first thing Manfred is going to do, he has actually identified one here. So he's going to open it. So once you open the email, now it gives you the option. In the top bar, there's a section called Respond. Within Respond, there's an icon. That icon is called Reply to Meeting. So when you reply to meeting, you actually have the ability to place something in your calendar. So I'm just going to click on that. So as you can see, there's recipients there that, whoever is a part of that email communication. Once you click on the icon, it brings everyone back into it. It's almost like giving you an opportunity if you wanted to have a meeting with them. That's another way, but we don't want to have a meeting with them. We want to reserve this email in your calendar to act on it. So what we're going to do is remove the recipients or the attendees, whoever came in the emails, I guess, email recipients. And now in the required, you will put your name, right? So in this case, Manfred is going to add his name. And so once you add your name, you can now say, okay, this one, as you can see, it says cybersecurity and privacy risk assessment. So we received some communication. Manfred, can you scroll down into the email just for everyone to see, what it is? It says it is a follow-up. And so we got something from a third party and we said, okay, this is determined to be an actionable item. So now we want to do it at a future date, say, for example, tomorrow. So you would then use the top bar, Scheduling Assistant. So the Scheduling Assistant allows you to select a time slot. Whatever is taken is shown as a color, or you can see your own calendar. So here it shows CRA daily meeting and so forth. So Manfred is going to select a time slot by just clicking on any of those vertical bars. So the time slot here is 1 p.m. on April 20th, for example. And so once he clicks on that, that's the time slot that he's saying. You can also see the same time slot just above where it says start time, end time. So the minute you click on another time slot, it changes. So man, just click on say 12 p.m., for example, or 4 p.m., 12 p.m., right? So it changes from 12:30. So that's a way to quickly, choose a time slot. And then the next step is just to send it to your calendar. So now he's going to click on send. Once you click on send, it's going to prompt you, because what happened is it's thinking that you're trying to create a meeting to invite others, but you're really doing it for yourself. It says here, do you want to send this meeting request with a location? The location in this sense is saying, do you want to use Teams or Zoom? It's more, a virtual meeting that it would allow you to schedule, or you could put a location like One Civic Center or 5050 Yonge. So to continue, you just say send anyway. I don't really need a location. It's really going to my calendar. So now it is in your calendar. So now if you click on the calendar option, which is down below on your left, and you go to the 20th, so April 20th at 12 o'clock, right? You will, so Manfred is just showing where it is. So you can just move your mouse just in a little circle just to see, yes, it's right there. So that is how simple it is. Depending, some emails will have attachments. And so where there's an attachment, you may say, do you want to, bring in the attachment? And you just take the default, say yes. Unfortunately, it won't bring the attachment in, but it will just let you recognize that there's some form of attachment there. But once you schedule it in your calendar, you need to just go back to get the attachment, go back to that email at some point in time to get that attachment. So at this point, we want to differentiate what this email task is, right? Because if you look at it, you see all other types of meetings. So you want to differentiate between emails that are going to be your personal, items to work on versus meetings that you need to attend. So so you would color it, right? So these are color codes. So you click once on that task, right? Once, and then you go back to Outlook bar, and there's an option called categorize, right? Categorize, drops down a list of colors. So for example, you could select yellow, right? So the yellow category, and right away it highlights it. So all your email tasks could be, color coded, and you see right away that these are not meetings that I need to attend. But you also can rename it as well. So you go back to the same colorized, and you go to all categories. And then on the right side, it's already check mark because you have it selected in the calendar. So you go on the right side and it says rename. And you could just say email task, right? You just so email task, and then you click OK. This is optional. I mean, you could just do the first section where you just place it in your calendar and it's there, or you could just go to the next step and make it more obvious to see. So at this time, I'm going to do a walkthrough. So I would like, if because I know this is pretty fast that I'm going through, but I'll slow it down a bit. And I want to invite whoever would like to participate to actually choose an email and just walk through it with us. So I'm going to ask Manfred to go back to his inbox. And I'm going to give just a little time for anyone who'd like to, go to your Outlook. I will, just take the time because we have a lot of time. It's 12:42, so we have some time. And we'll just, walk through the steps. So Manfred, if you could actually select an email different from the one you just selected. Okay. So here one is selected, right? It's called Boom Cards. And so we open it. So I just want to know from anyone or whoever, is doing it with us, just to let me know if I'm good to go to the next step. So if you have your an email selected and it's open, let me know, and we will go to the next step. Is anyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay. All right. So then we're just going to go straight up to the Outlook bar. And so the section that we have, because Outlook, you call it Outlook top bar, it has sections. So if you look at the far left, there's a section that's called delete, right at the end, and it has delete and archive. Then another section called respond, and so forth. It goes along. So the section is the second section that says respond, and we go into that icon in the upper right corner, right? That little tiny icon. It's in the instructional guide as well, so you won't miss it. But here I'm just pointing to you. It says reply to meeting. This allows you to open your calendar, right? So you click on that. Just a little time, okay? So now this is actually a calendar view, right? So you don't want to send this to the recipients of that email. So now you need to remove all those are in required and optional fields. So now we're moving that.
And Paul, we did have
Yes.
a question in the
Yes.
chat.
Okay.
They're wondering, what if they have several calendars? I don't know if that's something that you've had to manage before, but I think they're wondering, how do they identify which calendar to put it in?
Yeah, good question. So we have, for example, we have multiple we have two calendars. We have one for a generic mailbox, and we have one for our personal. So the generic mailbox, we add it as a second mailbox. And what you would do, you would actually, you'll be in that, okay, so what's going to happen is that it's going to actually go into your personal. So it won't select the others, and unfortunately it's going to just select one mailbox. So it's a good question, but from the experience that we have, Manver right now, he has two mailboxes. So Manver, just to answer a question, can you just reduce this? Let's see if we can see your mailboxes on the side. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, there's one called Cyber Risk Assessment, and then above there's one with Manver's name, right? So there are two mailboxes here. So Manver, the one that you scheduled, can you go click and see where it placed it? To just, was it in the generic mailbox or was it in your personal? So it appears to be in the generic mailbox, right? So to the question, if there's several calendar, you'd have to see where it's placed. And unfortunately, we're seeing it in this generic calendar. So it's something that you can experiment with. Maybe just seeing where you're, because for example, if we go in the inbox for your Outlook, so then it's going to schedule it into that calendar. So remember, in this mailbox, so go back to the generic mailbox for me. Let me show why it's going to put it there. And then if you go to the generic, yes, it says cyber risk assessment on the left. Scroll down just for a bit. You see it's highlighted inbox. So you click on inbox, right? And that's what's been shown. So Manvo is working with the inbox of the generic mailbox, and that's why it placed it in that calendar. So Manvo could also go to his personal. So Manvo, scroll back up now to your other mailbox, click on the inbox, right? And this is where he would select, as you see, it's a different view. And so had he select, and we could, if we have time, just to experiment. So Manvo, why don't you, let's quickly see where we'll place it, just to answer the question. So let's schedule something from your personal inbox and see which calendar it places in, because you're now in your personal. So sorry about that, guys. Just want to see if we can answer that question. So go to an email, select an email to be a task, open it up. Yeah, okay. So fully open it up so we can see it. Yeah. Fully open it up, yep. And then go to the icon to place it in your calendar. It just takes a little time. Okay, and remove the required name, place your name there. And now go to the scheduling assistant. Just choose a time slot. Yeah, that's fine. 1 p.m. is fine. It's available at 3, okay. And click and send. And now go to your personal calendar to see if it actually placed it there. Okay. So is that the one there? Okay. So from what I'm seeing here is that where it's placed in the task is actually in your personal. So whether you have a generic mailbox or not, because if you can see the one that's highlighted there, that was from the generic calendar or mailbox. That was from the generic mailbox, but it placed it in Manver's personal mailbox. So just to answer the question, it's going to place it in your personal mailbox, regardless of how many calendars you have. For the most part, like myself, I just work at one calendar, so it will be less a challenge in that respect. So if I'm open to answer the questions, let's go back to the walkthrough. So Manver, if you go back to your generic, go back to the calendar that we were. Okay, so I'm hoping everyone is still following along. So we open this email that we're gonna schedule in our calendar as a task. Okay, there's a question here. Rather than having to delete the attendee after you reply with, man, can you also click? Okay. So also click and cancel invitation button, which would convert it from a meeting onto appointment. So there's different ways of doing an improvement. I haven't tested it this way, but you can make it your own. So whatever you can do to enhance what is here. I'm just giving you just the basic steps. But if there's other ways, shorter ways, please experiment and see how it can even be enhanced more. But I'm just going to go through just as the standard practice that I've been using for a number of years. So thank you for sharing that. So here we're going to schedule it in our calendar, right? So we'll go to the icon. Yeah, Bob. And we're going to open it up. So I'm hoping everyone's still following along. Remove the attendees. Someone had another suggestion, so that's something that can experiment with. So remove the attendee required and optional. And add your name there. Okay, are you guys there with me? Anyone at this point done this? Okay, good, thank you. And now, yeah, now you're gonna go to schedule an assistant. Select the time slot, a date. So first of all, it's on the 19th. You can slide to any, you can go days or weeks, whatever you want. So select something on the 20th, which is tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And then you just click on send. It's going to prompt you to say, you know, you're missing something, you should have Teams, or please say, no, I want to send anyway. I'm doing it for myself. And now it should be in your calendar. And now we'll go to calendar, we'll locate that. We just click once on it, just to highlight it, and then we'll just add color to it. So you can go to categorize, select is, for example, green. We're going to do a blue, so that's fine. And now it's that color, right? You probably want to be consistent, right? So if you have yellow, you'd have yellow right through. But we just, so just for the demonstration, we select another color. And then you can rename that color, right? So you go back to categorize, all categories, and yeah, rename that to, you know, email task. So you guys follow through with what we have here? Is that straightforward? So at this point, I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint slide. So we actually did just, so we did a demonstration, just Manver and myself, my co-op student. Then we did a walkthrough. And now we want to just summarize what it is, right? So at a high level, we call it tasking emails. By Outlook, you want to identify the emails that are considered tasks. You want to open it. So while you're in it, then number 2, you select the icon, which is called reply with meetings. And then, you know, it allows you just follow the steps. It allows you to go through and add it to your calendar. And then number 3, you add color to it. So it's at a high level, that's what involved. And we've put together instruction guide. It's in the chat as well. So just open this up. Okay. So we have this here, talks about the benefits of doing it. There are 3 points here: allow you to prioritize emails that require an action. You'd be reminded of tasks, because it's going to, so if you schedule 10 emails in your calendar as tasks, you know, Outlook's going to remind you that these are coming up, right? So,
Paul, we can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Oh, my apology. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I should make note of that. Let me just share. Thank you for reminding me. So I'll just go back. Yeah, so you should see my screen right now. Yeah, so so what I was saying is that instruction guide that we put together, I'm just going to scroll through it, you'll see, but at the very top, it talks about the benefits, right? It says, allow you to prioritize emails as they come in. You know, Outlook has calendar as that feature to remind you of upcoming, you know, events like meetings, in this case, your email task, and overall just help you to organize. Step number 1, you know, identify the Outlook bar, or the section of that bar, which is the respond that you would be going to. So you open your email, go to the top, identify this section that responds at the very top of it. You'll see number 2, it says, click on this icon, right? So step number 2 tells you that. Step number 3 is to remove the recipients. So you're gonna remove them from required. It says required and optional. Number 4, right? It says add your email address in the required field. So right in the required, you'd add your name. We said here the location field is not required because you're not really scheduling a meeting, right? So it's gonna, you know, have your name there. And then you look for a suitable time slot. So you can go days into a week or more, and you see what time is available. So you use Schedule Assistant, which is in the top bar as well. And once you select the time slot, you just click on send. It's going to prompt you with a message, just click on send anyway. And that's the message you'll see, and then you're done. And then the second section is really just coloring it. So you just click on it once to select your email task. And then you follow this, you go, number 2, highlight it, you go to that task bar that says categorize, you select a color, and if you want to rename that color, you go back to it and you select all categories, and okay. So section number 2, color coding, is just optional. You could just easily do the top one. So I'm just gonna switch back to this. And at this point, I'm going to ask any questions for this demonstration. Okay. Well, thank you.
Paul, do we have any more session like this? Because I missed some of the part in the beginning. So.
We'll see. Okay, so we're recording the session.
Okay.
So we can share the recording. Erin can share the recording. But the instruction guide that we have, it will walk you right through it. Yeah. So the introduction is more just myself just sharing that I have been using it over the last 10 years. And, because I was challenged with attending meetings and getting work done and end up working overtime. So reserving that time in my calendar means someone else can't book that time. So if I say from 1 to 3, I'm working on a document, it's not available to someone else to bring me into a meeting. And it's kind of controversial because I know I shared this idea in the past at another meeting, and someone said, Paul, I can't schedule a meeting with you. But I said, yes, but if you just get your will and I don't get my will, I can't get my work done. So it's a balance. I said, just have to work around. If it's really urgent, let me know, but I have to balance my work as well. So yeah, that's the part that I may have missed me sharing. But yes, this is an idea that's, it's there to use.
Okay, thank you so much.
And there's some items in the chat. I don't know if we have time to go through them. Erin, is there anything else in the chat that we need? Thank you. That we need to answer before we go?
I think from the chat, one, people are thanking you all for this helpful session. We've definitely recorded it. And I think what's really great about a session like this is everybody uses Outlook in their own ways and has tips. So there are some other new ideas and tips about, you can cancel the invite and it takes away them. And then someone also said they tried dragging an email item from the list, I think from their task list into the calendar, and it opens a calendar invite.
Oh, so excellent. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's really great to hear these different ideas. And for me, what I think is really helpful about the idea you shared today, Paul, is I think probably all of us have gotten those emails that you kind of unintentionally push along because it's going to take you 30 minutes or an hour to respond to.
Exactly.
And it's so hard to find that time. And this is just a way to really intentionally block off that time so you can get back to that request or question, etc. So I think this is a great strategy to have in your toolkit to help folks.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I appreciate the feedback as well. And you're welcome to share an idea as well. So, something that can also be help others too.
Yeah, and Arlene just put out there too, we like hearing these tips. So if you have a tip or like a great strategy that you're using that you think would be good for another Lunch and Learn, reach out to your service excellence coach and we can connect with you and see if it makes sense to hold another session like this to kind of share the knowledge and these types of practices that make our day-to-day work a little bit better.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.